Hey everybody, it's Cotton here, and I am bringing you some more of The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD. In the last video, we made our way to a few islands where we are collecting the last of all of the collectibles that we can get, like heart pieces and treasure charts, and we also began the Triforce quest, where we have to find all of the Triforce Shards. So if you remember in one of the earlier videos, Coral mentioned something about the Hero of Time losing the Triforce he had, and it was split up into 8 parts, and so now what we need to do is collect all of them and reform the Triforce of Courage. And so that's exactly what we're doing. And so, let's see, this is it's a mess around here, so those cannons just killed the, okay. Killed the bird. In the original version, this was kind of viewed like, kind of as annoying. A lot of people were actually turned off from this game in general because of this part of the game and the story. They felt that, you know, it just dragged on for too long and that, it was just really boring, and a lot of people quit around this point because they just didn't want to bother finishing it. But really quick, right here we have this little pedestal where you had to do the wind song, or whatever it's called, I forget. But it makes this chest appear. And we get another Triforce chart like we just did from the Golden Warship in the last video. And so those we actually can't decipher yet, and we can't read them, so we need somebody to translate them for us. Now, if you remember, there is somebody that is an expert in chart making and translations and all of that, which is Tingle. So eventually we will have to take those charts to Tingle. But in this version, or let me restart this. In the GameCube version, all 8 of the pieces needed to be salvaged from the sea floor, meaning that every single treasure you got on all of these islands had charts that needed to be translated as well as found in the ocean. So you had to do that 8 times. You had to find the 8 charts, and then you had to get the 8 charts translated, and then you had to go salvage the 8 charts. So Tingle, of course, charges you for it, and yeah, it ended up being a lot of money for doing 8 charts. And let's see, where am I going with this? In this version, well, before I start, let me just say that you see a bunch of rooms. It looks like there's little torches up above the doors. One door is closed shut. What we need to do is just go into each of these doors and kill all of the enemies that are inside. Oh. And so you can see this one here has these guys. So that's basically the gist of this island. But, okay, so in the Wind Waker HD, instead of having 8 charts, they made only 3 charts. So there's only 3 charts that you need to decipher, 3 charts that you need to find and get salvaged from the sea floor, and the other 5 Triforce Shards are actual treasures. So, you know, instead of having that extra step, the developers just said, you know, we'll just give you the Triforce piece, because a lot of people, you know, didn't really like the quest, so this kind of speeds it up a bit, and it does. It makes it a lot better, a lot less tedious, and yeah, it works a lot better. And yeah, I still like that they left a few of them are in charts, because, you know, that was kind of cool, like having to go and explore and find those charts on the sea floor, or the shards on the sea floor. But yeah, that was just another improvement that I think they made with this game from the original. And so there's really not much to say. Whoops, I missed. There's really not much to say about the enemies. Like, I mean, I've already done the Savage Labyrinth, so I think you kind of get the idea of How do I keep missing? No, 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 no! Dang it. I think you kind of get the idea of like how to defeat enemies. Oh, I didn't think that was close enough. I wonder... Yes! I can reach him. One thing I wanted to point out is that after you restored all the power to the Master Sword, you can notice that it glows. So if you remember in the cutscene after the Wind Temple that it kind of glowed, like it actually does that in-game as well, so you can see that. And that's really cool. It was a nice little feature they had here. So none of these rooms are like anything too difficult. Especially now because the Master Sword does actually do more damage, and so enemies go down a lot faster than they used to, which is really nice. Now, after you completed all of the doors, you'll see that some Dark Nuts have spawned out here. And if you're fast enough, you can get behind one and take his shielding off. I wasn't able to actually kill him, though. Oh, I thought that guy was going to hit me, but he didn't. Whoop. Okay, and so you'll notice this guy knocked down one of the pillars, and there's a whole bunch of rupees in it. That's what I tried to do. I believe it was in the Savage Labyrinth, but it didn't have anything. You know, you can grab one of these swords and swing it at these, or you can actually just use the, whoops, nope. You can just use the, Skull Hammer and do it, but they actually give out quite a few rupees. And so, like I said, you're going to be needing a lot of rupees to, get translated, because you need to translate the charts from Tingle, and he charges quite a bit for each one. I believe it's around like 800 or so. I'm not exactly sure, but you're gonna need maybe at least 3,000 rupees, I'm thinking, close to there or something. So if you have 3,000, you should be pretty good. And defeating those guys opened the store, you'll know, because it has that big ornament on the top and insignia. And remember to break the jars, because the jars in these areas have a lot of rupees inside. That one just had green ones, but you can see this one has... Is that a 50? Or no, that was just a 5. But, you know, still a lot of rupees. And so we've got another pedestal here where we can play the Wind's Requiem. And so we are given a Triforce Shard. So this is like what I said. In the GameCube version, that would have actually been a chart, and we would have had to have, you know, translated it and then, you know, went to go salvage it. But, you know, in this game they made it a lot easier, so they just gave you the shard itself, and it saves a lot of time. Now, okay, so we were just on Stonewatcher Island. I think I forgot to mention that specifically before we got here, but next I'm going to be going to the private oasis. So I will see you there. Alright, and so we are finally able to check out the private oasis. Now, if we remember earlier, after doing one of the quests for Mrs. Marie, she gave us a deed to this place, and so we can pull that out of our delivery bag, and when we talk to the store... Don't touch me with those filthy hands, you mischievous little scamp. Ahem, this cabana belongs to the master and the master alone. You grimy, trespassing little scoundrel. Away with you! Away, I say. Well, just show him the deed, show him that you're the owner. You unclean, most foul, don't lay those grungy hands. Wait, that's... Why, that's the... Are you the new master? Are you Master Cotton? I am so pleased to hear that name. Master Cotton, please be gentle on this fine door. And he lets us go inside. So, inside, there are a few things we can do. You'll notice... the only item we can really use inside is this, and when you break those, it has a ton of rupees inside, so you can just collect all of these. These rupees do not respawn, so you can't like enter and exit and expect these pots to be filled with rupees again. You only get one chance at these. Sometimes you can get unlucky and have like a red one, get stuck on top of there, and I really don't think you can actually pull any of these. Nah. But one thing in here is it has a little mini game. So you'll see this full completed picture here, and then you'll see this jumbled up picture here. I do indeed. No thank you. So pretty much you've probably seen a puzzle like this before somewhere in your life. It's one of these where you just have to slide these around, and you have to form the picture that's behind you. And so you can see on the left here, there's these like bomb images. Those will light up as you complete them. When you complete them, you're given like a certain amount of rupees, so it's not required to beat the game. You don't get anything special for it, you just get rupees. If you want to do it, you can. But what we actually need to do is jump onto that, pull it down with the swing, and I kind of missed, but go down the fireplace. Because, as luck would have it, there is actually a Triforce Shard in here. And so this place is filled with rats, so make sure they don't hit you, because, you know, they take rupees. But what you have to do is actually go down below and through tunnels until you make your way past these gates where you can hit those switches and, you know, move forward. But there's actually, I guess, a glitch you can do where the skull hammer can actually go through the wall and hit the switch. Now, it's kind of awkward. Get out of here, you rat. It's kind of awkward, and it's a little difficult to do. You kind of need to be facing sideways, and then you do that, attack. Yeah, right there, like you, when you do the jump attack, like right at that line, the skull hammer will go through the door and actually hit the switch, and so you can continue on from here, and then I believe, yeah, you could even do it right here again. Whoops, as long as I'm not locked on to anything. Get out of here. Okay. That's another rat. I don't want to be locked onto that. Okay, so... might be facing a little too much. There you go. I think I actually hit a rat in the process. And there we go. That saved us a whole bunch of time having to, like, crawl around underneath. There are a couple of rooms you can go to. I don't believe there's actually anything special in them. They just contain, like, I don't know, maybe some rupees or something. I'm pretty sure you can find your way across, usually just going around in a circle. You'll usually find your way through, so I think in the interest of time, I'm just going to ignore it and just continue on. Whoops, that's the wrong song. But, you know, like, if you have trouble, I guess there's probably some guides somewhere. I don't know. I tried to find guides that kind of told you, like, exactly which way to go, but the ones I saw weren't very specific, and I don't know the exact way to go myself. I usually just go, like, left and right. I usually just, you know, try to go forward in the general direction of where I think the chest is, and then I usually make it. So, if I were to show you, I wouldn't be exactly sure if it was the fastest way to go through, so I figured I'd just kind of show this off, and, you know, you can try this if you want to, or you can do it legit. Like I've said before, you know, how you play a game is up to you. Whatever you have fun doing, that's all that matters, so, you know, do that. But now that we've done all that, we can go on to Bomb Island, so I will see you there. Actually, before I leave, once you show this guy the deed on your map, instead of saying Private Oasis, it will now say Your Oasis. So in my case, it says Cotton's Oasis. So whatever name you pick, it will say that it's yours now, which is kind of a neat touch. But to Bomb Island. Alright, actually, before we go, I forgot about something here. There's one more thing that we have to do on the island. What we need to do is get behind the house and then hookshot our way up here. We technically could have done this earlier, like I believe you can like float over here, but I decided to do it now because the treasure isn't actually like that important. It is a chart, but it just leads to rupees, so I figured I could just hold off on getting this one until I actually had to come to this island. And it's just right here. So, yeah, really easy to get. I just forgot to mention it, so I had to come back and get it. So, there you are.